Welcome, fifth graders, to Plays Day 3. Yesterday we read a play, the day before we read a play, and guess what you're going to do today? You're going to read a play. But first, let's talk about our learning targets. You will review features of a play. You will read and summarize a longer play. You will answer text-dependent comprehension questions. And then you will build oral language and vocabulary. All right, so let's review features of a play. A play is written to be performed by live actors on stage. Now, oftentimes we don't see plays performed like that. We just read them, or we see them in movie form. And a movie is just a form of a play, but it's a little bit more complex with the wonders of modern television and everything like that. Okay, a play is told through dialogue and characters' actions. We very much rely on what we see, on what we hear, and kind of what we read if we're just reading the play. I think television is much more of a visual medium for us, whereas a play is very much audio and watching and listening to what the characters are saying. Okay, a play includes stage directions. What are the characters supposed to do? What are they looking at? What's happening? Okay, a play takes place in one or more time frames and settings. A play is divided into scenes or acts. Okay, a play usually has one or more main characters and additional supporting characters. A lot of it just depends on how big the play is going to be. Okay, and then a play has a plot based on a conflict, problems for the characters to solve, or decisions to make. All right, so as we look at today's assignment, what I'm going to have you do is you are going to read a play. It's called, I think it's The New Kid at School, and it's about, today's reading is a longer play. As you read, summarize and synthesize the events the characters are thinking about. After reading, we will summarize the key ideas and details to make sure we understand the text. Okay, so now you can either read the story on the slides, the subsequent slides that will be following this, or you can go to the shelf by the water fountain, and you can get one of the booked text for closed reading books. And play that we are going to be discussing today is going to be on page 117 and 118. Okay, so I'm just going to flip to the next page, and then I'll just wait 10 seconds. Why don't you pause the video and read, or just pause the video and then go get a book. And then when you are done reading the first page, you can, after 10 seconds, it'll go to the next page. You'll just hit restart and it'll go to the next page. Or once you're done and you come back, just continue viewing the video, and then it'll go to the next slide and kind of the next activity we're going to do. So without further ado, New Kid in School. And I will forward to the next page. Hopefully you have paused it. Again, pause it and read, and then restart the video when you are ready. All right, hopefully you've read the play, and I'm just going to read it. I tried to find a recording of it so you didn't have to listen to my voice anymore for this video, but unfortunately I couldn't find a recording. So here we go. The New Kid in School. Cast of characters, we have Pat, an 11-year-old boy, and Aldo, an 11-year-old boy. Setting, an elementary school classroom, a little before lunch. Lights up on a school classroom. Pat and Aldo sit in chair desks with the armrest for writing. They are in separate rows. The lighting shifts to a spotlight on just Pat when he is talking and just Aldo when he is talking. Pat and Aldo are voicing inner monologues, their thoughts. They do not hear each other. Pat: that new kid here sure is weird. His family comes from a different country or something, and he doesn't speak English well. The teacher treats him like royalty or something. She says he's really smart and we should welcome him and learn from him and blah, blah, blah. But I don't understand what I can learn from someone I can hardly understand. Aldo: it's hard to know the right thing to do. This new kid in class, he looks different from the rest of us, and he's very shy, and nobody talks to him. He always eats lunch by himself. I feel bad for him. Should I talk to him or not? I'm sitting on the fence. Pat. Things were going pretty good in class until that new kid came along, right in the middle of the year. The teachers always stop and make sure he understands what she's talking about. What a waste of time. Aldo. It must be hard for that new kid. A new country and language and all. He works very hard to keep up with us. The teacher says he studies night and day. If I had to go to school in another country where they speak a different language, I would be totally at sea. Pat. I can't even remember the kid's name. Oh yeah, it's Simo. Simo? What kind of name is that? Definitely weird. Simo is his name. I've never heard of that name before. Sounds interesting. I wonder what that name means. Everybody already has their friends. Who wants to be friends with him? Maybe they'll switch into another class. Then things will be back to normal. I know that some of the other kids in the class are keeping away from him just because he's different. But being different isn't a bad thing. If I went to another country, I would be the one who's different, right? All I can say is I'm not going to deal with him. Who needs the hassle? Aldo. I think it would be interesting to find out what it's like where he comes from. Maybe I'll ask him to sit with me at lunch. I'll be going out on a limb, I know. Some of my friends might think I'm weird too. Aldo keeps looking at that new kid. I bet he's going to talk to Simo. Weirdo. Aldo. I absolutely will eat lunch with him. I bet he'll like that. Who cares what the others think? The lunch bell rings. The lights shift to show the full class. Aldo and Pat get up from their seats and begin putting their books and papers away. Pat calling out, Hey Aldo, you coming with us to lunch? Aldo, not today, Pat. I've got other plans. Calling out, Hey Simo, wait up. Lights fade out as Aldo exits hastily, leaving Pat on stage, alone, thinking. The end. All right, so what I'd like you to do when we're done with the video, I'd like you to spend some time and work on those comprehension questions that are with day 3, okay? How does the author structure the play? What visual does the author use to support the structure? What conclusion can you draw about how Pat views his teacher? And then what does Aldo do to try to understand Simo's feelings? Okay? So work on those questions when we're done. But in closing, today we read a more complex play and we summarized the key ideas and details the author included in the characters' monologues. Okay? Tomorrow we will reread the play and dig deeper into the text to analyze the characters' point of view about the events they mentioned. Remember, sometimes we need to read a selection several times to notice different aspects of the text. All right, that's all we got today. Please take time to answer those questions to the best of your ability. I will be checking over those when I go through your packet. Other than that, that's all I got. We'll talk to you in a bit.